Hello, everybody. So today, now I've had a lot of time to sit around and play with the 2488. Considering I never owned one before, so I never knew what the big deal about it was, and why people were annoyed that they call it the goat and all this stuff. So I never had one, so I never really understood what everybody was talking about. So now that I've had one for a while and I've done some work on it, and I've done some recording with it, and I've done some other stuff. Now, there are things about it that frustrate me, and I will be honest with you, it will always frustrate me. But there are things that it does which I wish my DP24 or my DP32 would do. And I get why people are annoyed that they got rid of it. Now, my biggest fear right now is that Tascam is completely wiping out the digital portable line. So like the DP32 is now not showing up on Europe. It's still available in the States. I don't know why that's different. I have no idea. Maybe they just didn't sell as many in Europe. I have no idea. Either way, but my fear is that they're just going to phase out the entire series. So you're going to get rid of the all-in-one box, which for me is the best thing about the digital portables, is that they are an all-in-one box, and you can start recording, you can do the mix down, you can master it, you can then export it onto your computer, and you can send it off to the world. That to me is what the whole point of using the machine is for. It's not just there to be a mixer. And my fear is that with the model series and the Studio Bridge, that they're looking at more of a hybrid DAW controller setup. That's what I see happening. They're going to rely more on the DAW for things as opposed to the actual console, which I'm not a fan of. I don't want that. That's not the way I want to go. I might be someone who's low on the totem pole, but that's what I don't want to see. So that being said, let's talk about the things that the 2488 has, which I really like, that I wish Tascam would bring back into a new digital portable system. So now it's not saying it's not. Sorry. First thing I want to get off my chest is the CD player is gone. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think it's that important. I'm sorry if you do. I don't. Because honestly, I can't remember the last time I burned a CD or had any need to. So that to me is like not needed. That's not needed. But I know a lot of people wish that they had a CD player, and I know that's going to be comments I'm going to see. We need the CD player back. I bet you it's getting harder and harder to find a company that makes CD players, and that's probably why they're not doing it. I got a hair in my face here. I can feel it. Hang on a sec. There we go. All right, there we are. So let's start off. So tempo mapping. Tempo mapping is on the 788. It's on the 2488. Why it's gone, I don't know. What is tempo mapping? Well, tempo mapping is simply when you're recording, like a lot of prog rock bands use this, because what you can do is you can say, so for this many bars, I want to do 4/4 timing, and I want the tempo to be at 100. So then it will sit there, and if you have the click going, it will click, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 at 100 BPM. So that's what's it, and that's helpful. And then what you can do is you can say, okay, so for the first 4 bars, I want that. Then I want to switch to 5/4 at 120, and you can do that. And then you can go and you can literally map out the tempo of your song and your timing for it. And it's very helpful. Now I don't generally use it because most of my songs are just straight 4/4 timing, and the tempo stays the same. But for somebody who's more creative, more musically inclined as opposed to me, it's an important thing to have. And so and that's and if you go into a lot of studios, they'll say, "Do you have a tempo map for your song, so that we can record it?" So, but yeah, like it's just an important piece, and I don't know why it's gone. It's not. I can't see it being a lot of real estate when it comes down to software like coding, because it shouldn't be that much. But either way, it's gone, and it's too bad. It should come back. Another one that I think is wrong. I'm not sure the 788 has it. I know 2488 has it, which is a mono monitoring setting. So you can go and you can set your 2488 to playback in mono, which to me is very important because that's part of the reason why I bought the big knob, was because it had a mono button on it, so that when I'm doing a mix down, I can click on mono and then I can listen to it as it would sound in mono, so I can hear if there's any weirdness going on. That's very important, and I'm surprised they got rid of that. That once again, I think it's an easy thing to bring back. So that's another one. This one, the next one I have on my list is a little bit different. The Vari-Speed Operations, which is, they used to have a pitch setting and a slow speed audition setting. I don't know how well pitch works in digital. I'm going to play with this one. At some point, I'm going to sit down, put the 2488 here, and I'm going to try the pitch and the slow speed audition settings to see how they work. So there might be a reason why they got rid of it. Maybe it just sounded like crap. Who knows? But I'm going to try it anyways. That's on my list. But what it does is, so you can, if you have an old cassette machine, you had a dial, and that was your pitch dial. So you could speed up the motor, slow down the motor, and then you could practice. You could change the way it sounds, and that was an effect that a lot of bands, when they used to record analog, that's what they did. They would slow the pitch down, they record their thing, then they put it at normal, and then it would be faster. So they would do like a half step down. So you record half step down, and then you put the pitch up, and then it would just sound faster. There's a lot. I think some Metallica song they said they did that with. I can't remember which one it is, but I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, they said that's what they did. But now Metallica's been playing it so much they can just play it at the speed that it was supposed to be at. They just couldn't do it at that time. But I don't know. That's a story that I've heard, but I'm not going to get more into that. But yeah, so that's what it is. And slow speed audition is pretty much just, it doesn't change the pitch. It just slows down the recording. So you're hearing, like, if you have guitar strum, you're hearing the guitar strum at the same pitch that it would be, so that you don't sound like you're playing out of tune. You sound like you match it. It's just slower, so that you can slowly work yourself up to play the part you're trying to play. And I think that would be awesome to have too. I think I'm surprised these are gone. They should still be there. Now, the next one is a big one because everybody complains about this. The 5-pin MIDI ports that they decided to get rid of from the DP24, DP2432 to the SD versions, and then they got rid of it along with the CD player. Now, once again, I'm not worried about the CD player, but after playing with MIDI for a while, even though I'm not a fan of MIDI and I use it sparingly, I think it should come back. Now, I'm not saying, and then just have external MIDI operations. So more or less, start from this point. Just the basic settings so that you can control a MIDI device such as a sequencer from anywhere on the board. Like, to me, that would be very, like, from your DP32, so you can say play. That, to me, I'm not asking for, because I know on the 2488 you had the SMF files which you could load, and then you have the general MIDI fader that you could play it through and listen to it, which is great too, but I'm not expecting that. But it would be nice to have those 5-pin ports back. And I know on the 2400, I think they did bring them back, but it would be nice to see if they do another DP that they would do that. The last thing that I have on my list is fader matching. So what is fader matching? Well, fader matching is where you set your faders up. They actually have preset. You could save your presets too, which I thought was really cool too. So you have fader matching. So you set your faders to where you want them on the song. And that meant that they would stay there. Even if they were turned down, they would stay there so that when you loaded up the song again, you had your faders where they were. Now, for final mastering and mixing, this is very important because if a client, let's say you are actually working with a client on the machine, or you and your friend are recording and you give your friend a copy of the song, he listens to it in his car or something. He says, "Can you turn this instrument down a bit?" Then you're not trying to remember, okay, where to have all the settings, because you might now be on your fifth, sixth song working away. And if you have fader matching, you can just say, okay, this is where my faders were. Let's bring it up. So it's the same concept as motorized faders, but it's not as what's the word I'm looking for here? It's virtual. It's not. You don't have to actually have the motorized fader. You just have it virtually in there. Now, granted, you have to be able to see where the levels are, but that's another story. And I noticed on the 2488 it also has MIDI controlled ones. So that means that if a MIDI controller is saying, okay, turn this one up now, it'll turn it up. That's amazing. That's something that should be standard. I think these are things that should be standard. So, I just wanted you to chew on this for a while. Tell me what you think. Send me a comment if you want. And so once again, like and subscribe. And if you want to join to become a member, that would be great. Once again, all my videos, once I release a video, if you're a member, you get to see it right away. You don't have to wait for however long. At this point, this one is being recorded on the 23rd of May, and it's going to be released probably the 25th or 26th of June. So as you can see, you're getting the videos earlier, and you also get the emojis. I got to make a video on how to use the emojis, and you're getting custom emojis that I made myself, and then you are also getting the ability to you're getting your name on the end credits. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.